right, everybody. Welcome to Throwback Thursday and our first prison break punch evening. And this month, I don't know if you guys all remember, but I went on a rampage reorganizing my craft studio, and in the process found out that I have way too many punches and a lot of punches I had never used before. So gear wheel is a punch that I have never used before. And so we're going to use it today, but we're going to use it after the poll and you all voted. This is the one we're going to use, but we're going to use it in a very different way. So these are the papers that I've chosen to use. I'm going to use this floral print. These are a hodgepodge of papers from everywhere. This is from Natural Beginnings. Then I have this green. I don't even know, you guys. I think it's a totally tonal maybe. And then I really liked this new gold shimmer. It's actually the yellow. It's the canary shimmer. And I like it just a little bit better than the gold just because it's not quite as dark. And then I have these really ugly purple papers. And I'm going to explain that in a minute. This is literally in a laundry basket of papers I was going to throw out. And I went and grabbed out some junky papers. So this is the sketch that we're going to do that I found that we're going to make. And if you look at this sketch, it basically uses a background piece of paper that only uses 1 inch. And so I basically said, why am I going to use a full background paper for 1 inch? That is such a waste of paper. Hence the ugly purple paper. I am going to put all of my stuff on this ugly purple paper and you will never see it because it's completely covered by this entire sketch. All right, so what are we going to use today for pictures? Because when you think of the gear wheel, you automatically think of graduation pictures. So we are going to scrapbook graduation pictures tonight. They have been sitting in my stash for a really long time. And I went ahead and printed them. And when you look at them, they just scream gear wheel, right? So this is what we're going to use. All right. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to cut this paper. And I'm going to start on the left side because the left side is going to be this. And then I will make a right side to complement it afterwards. All right. So the first thing we have to do is we have to cut our paper. And again, I am all about saving and conserving paper. That's why we're going to use this ugly background paper. And then the very next piece, when you look at here, is this 1 inch by 12 inch piece. And that's where I'm going to use this dark green paper. So I'm literally just cutting 1 inch. All right. Then the next piece that you're going to have will be your pictures, and each picture is matted by a 4.5 by 6.5 or a 4.5 by 5.5 inch piece. So basically that's a 4.5 inch piece. In my case, I'm going to mat my pictures in the same paper, which is this pretty canary shimmer. So I'm just going to cut a 4.5 inch piece of this. All right, see, so this is lining up. It's going to line up like this. All right. Then I'm going to need 2 4.5 by 6.5 inch mats for my other 2 pictures. Six and a half first. 1.5. And a 4.5. And then the last thing that you need are these 3 strips, which are 1 by 6.5. So I'm going to use this floral paper and I'm going to cut 1 inch. I have to do it a few times. I have 3 strips, so I'm going to cut it 3 times. Probably could have just done 6.5 first, but I'm doing it this way. And then it says 6.5, but I always get nervous that I cut it a little short. So I'm going to go ahead and cut mine right at 7 inches. Just to give myself a little leeway. All right, that's everything we need now for this left-hand side. So we can go ahead and we can assemble it. So I kind of have decided that this month, I think every layout is going to have to use a BMC or a punch on it. I just feel like I don't use my tools enough. And so I'm going to try and challenge myself to use them. My head gets in the way. Sorry, I can't see it very well up here. I'm kind of excited. I haven't done these pictures yet because I didn't really know what I wanted to use. And so I'm kind of excited about this paper choice. And I think I hope it's going to look good. All right, so now I'm just going to trim the edge. We're going a little bit long. All right, so there is my left-hand side of the paper. And now I've got to find my pictures. So my son was the valedictorian, and so he had to make a speech. And his speech was based on the word howdy, which is how he would always talk to everybody. So that's why this says howdy. So that's where I'm starting from. Right? And the screaming gear punch, right? I think I might want to mount that in green. Let me look really quick and see. I think I might like that with some green. Let's see what we think. Yeah. Go to my scrap bin and see if I have a piece. Oh, that's right at 4 inches. And that's right at 5 inches. That was lucky. All right. So here's my layout. And now we're at the point where we got to figure out what to do with this silly gear punch. So one of the things that I have learned since I have come back to creative memories. Sorry, I don't think I cut this picture straight. I think that might be why this is causing me an issue here. Might have to recut that. Okay, one of the things that I have learned since I've come back to creative memories and since I've been watching people is that when you get a new border tool, whether it be a punch or a border maker cartridge or anything, one of the things that you should look at, aside from the functionality of what the tool is for, is the shape of the tool. So for example, we just had the embossed shell. The embossed shell just came out, right? But if you look at this shell, you can clearly see a petal on this shell. So you could punch a bunch of these into petals and you can make a flower, a big flower with this embossed shell. So when I looked at the gear punch, I can see a bunch of flowers that we could make out of this gear punch. So I'm going to hack it and I'm going to make flowers out of this and I'm going to hope it works. So this is my goal. We're going to see if it works. I think it's going to work. But let's try. Because I don't have a builder in my house. So I'm thinking, look at all the yellow flowers I have in here. I can absolutely turn this into yellow sunflowers and it's going to look amazing on here, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and punch some. Maybe. It's been so long since. Oh, you guys, my punch isn't working. That's bogus. Let me try again. Hang on. Probably has oil in there because I never punched it when I first got it. Oh, there we go. Just need to get some weight behind it. So I'm just gonna wiggle around here, make this a flower. I don't think I need that much flour. Let's see. Where are we gonna put it? We'll put it down here. We'll cut it right here. All right. So then we got to get rid of these wheels, right? Because flowers don't have wheels, hubcaps, whatever these things are called, spokes. I'm looking at you guys all shaking your heads. You have no confidence in me. Right. And then the next thing after we do these spokes is we got to make a center, right? Especially if I'm going to do, I don't know if you guys can see, but in my pictures, they've got these sunflowers. Can you see them? And they have big brown centers. So because this is a bunch of wheels, I need something circular to punch out my centers. So we have cyclic circles. That might work, right? That might work. Y'all are literally looking at me like I'm crazy. So one of the things is, right, you see all of these consultants in their desks always look nice and neat. I'm not that scrapbooker. I'm a messy scrapbooker. My place is always a disaster. That's why I have to clean up in between every single session. Oh, look, it's almost the exact perfect size. Come on. Come on. We're gonna have to jury rig that one a little bit. I'm gonna have to rig that one a little bit, but that's all right. We can just use a thin little tiny piece. It's on the back side. No one will see it. It's on the back side. No one will ever see it. You guys will be the only ones who ever know. All right, I've got two little tiny ones left. That's gonna be way too big. So I'm gonna cut it in half. Aw, look, it's getting closer. Need some seeds. So we got to put some seeds on it. My most used punch probably is my 5-leaf punch. If this punch ever comes back, you guys need to make sure that you buy it. And whenever I use it, I always add extra dimension to it by just putting the veins on here. So if you look at it right now, it's just really super plain. So I just draw lines on here. And they're just lines to the leaf, so they don't have to be exact. But now when you look at it, I don't know if you guys can see, it just gives it a little extra dimension. Too many leaves, so I'm going to cut off the bottom two. The other problem that I have with this is that I don't have any graduation sets of stickers or anything. I had given them to my mom when she was working on some graduation pages, and I don't think I got them back, or if I did get them back, I don't know what I did with them. I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put these leaves on here. I need one more set of leaves because I like to do things in odd numbers. think we're gonna have to make a lot more sunflowers for my layout. Oh, it's cute, you guys. Come on, look at that. It turned out cute. Right along the bottom there. I think it's a little bit too long. I think I don't want quite as many. I'm gonna cut off this last one right here. This is where you guys know, this is where I just start auditioning what I like on here, what I think looks good. But I think that looks cute. And that's how I'm going to use the gear punch. Now, looking at this, I definitely need to bring some of this yellow up here to this corner. So I have all these leftover gears. So I'm probably going to put another little one up here in this corner. And that might be all I do on this page, to be honest. I think I want to use a smaller one up there, not a big one. So that's like one of the big takeaways that I've learned is when you look at your punches, look at shapes and look and decide, is there a way that I can use this as a different shape to create something different and to get more usage out of your punches, basically. You know what else okay, see, this is where Jenny's looking at it, and I'm like, okay, you know what else we need to do? It's just a little too yellow with all this gold. We need to dirty it up a little bit. So I'm just gonna go right around the edge here with a little bit of my brown ink just to dirty it up a little bit. It's just a little too yellow. It needs a little sun warmth, burnt the edges a little bit. I don't know, this one got a little mangled. I might have to punch. I don't have any good circles. I might have to punch, but I'm thinking about putting one up here. I don't like him. I don't like him. Here's a better one. I need some little ones next to him. I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe some little ones too? All right. Well, that's where that side's going to sit for just a minute. And now I've got to add in my second side. Oh, I need to dirty him up. I didn't dirty him up. Let me dirty him up while I'm thinking about it. It just gives it, when you ink on an edge like that, it just gives it a little bit of extra definition, which I like. It helps it to pop off the page more. All right, so now we got to do the other side, and I'm pretty much gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna mirror it. So I'm gonna start with my strip on the side. I had to flip it over because there's on this paper, I don't know if you can tell, but there's little tiny arches. And I had them going opposite directions, so that would not work for me. So for this page, I have more horizontal pictures. So I think I'm going to do this like this. So what I was thinking is I would just carry the strips all the way across and then do gold across where my pictures are. So that I think is what I'm going to do. And I printed two pictures because I couldn't decide which one of these I liked better of James, but this one, the girl who did the photography on it, she like haze the edges of it, and I don't know. You guys will have to tell me if you think one is. I like this one because he's smiling, but it just looks a little blurry. So I don't know. You guys can tell me which one you think you like better. The only other problem I have is I don't know that I have another long strip of that yellow. I might only have mats of it. Let me see. I used some of it already, but I have cut some mats. And then I used them for another layout and then I didn't use them. But I think if I put it right behind, you're not going to be able to tell. I think it'll be all right. What do you guys think? I mean, preferably I would like one long piece, but I don't have it. And I really don't want to get a whole nother piece out. I think that's what I'm going to use. So James graduated from high school in 2019, so it's been a while. And I hadn't returned to scrapbooking at that time. So I, you know, was just going through life, not really paying attention. And I'm so annoyed by this picture because I'm wearing like this bright green obnoxious sweater, which I looked cute in it, but it just does not work with my photos and it's so annoying. Let me I need one more strip, and that's actually a little bit bigger than 1 inch, sitting at about a 1, and because I didn't cut exactly, it's a little bit over an inch. Whoops, stuck to my table instead of the paper. That's not good. So that's what we're looking at. That's really good. Now, the reason I didn't put these pictures on was one, I wanted to see what they looked like, but two, I feel like I need to add, because I put the green over here, I feel like I need to add more green on this side. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna like that better. What do you guys think? And then I just need another one of these and I can put this one over here like this. So we need to make another thing of flowers. Maybe not as many. Maybe on this side I'll only do 5. And I think he needs to be on green too. This is why I use repositionable. Hey, you guys, that's going to be my layout. I just need to make some more flowers to go over here. And so I will do that. I'm going to go ahead and finish up with my flowers. And I'm probably also going to look and see if I have any kind of graduation anything, because it might be fun to put like a little graduation, I don't know what you call that, the little stole or whatever in here, or maybe a cap, and kind of put that in with my flowers. But I couldn't find anything right now. I do have a punch somewhere. I do have a punch. Look, we could use another punch. Where's my punch? I do have a punch somewhere. I'll have to look for it in a minute. But maybe I could get a bonus punch in here. But that's it. So the takeaway from this is that I don't know how I feel about the gear wheel. I like my little flowers. I think they're cute. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'll use it again. I don't know. I'll be interested to see what you guys all think about it. All right, that's it. I am going to sign off.